Good morning, friends. How are you? Hope you are starting your day off on the right track or ending it in a great way, okay? Okay, today I have to speak on something that happened yesterday. The day before yesterday, I made a purchase, okay? And I know I spoke on this before but I need to make it very clear. You don't get a second chance to you might get a second chance to replenish your reputation, but sometimes when your reputation is on the line, people remember, and it cannot be easily removed from their memories when they believe that you have done something that was violating or you did something that was dishonest. So, made a purchase, and when I made the purchase, they had one of those connectors on it, and the bell didn't ring on my way out of the door. I guess it was so many people going out, I don't know, but I didn't realize it until I had gotten home that evening. And I'm looking at this thing connected, and it's holding barriers within the bag. Nothing can move. And I'm like, wait a minute, how am I going to put everything together when I forgot what they call it, but it's one of those black pieces. It's big and it holds everything in place. It's what they put on your items in stores to make sure that you don't get out the store by stealing the item. Anyway, this item was connected to my bag, to my bag. And I could not, I couldn't see how I was going to be able to move forward in carrying this. And I'm like, why did I make this purchase if I can't use it? So I went back to the store and I asked that it be removed. And the lady said, where's your receipt? Now I'm thinking to myself, I said, I don't even think I have it anymore. I mean, can you just remove it? Because I'm in a rush, And she's like, no, I can't remove it because how do I know you didn't steal it? And there's all these people around, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I told her, I said, I am a law-abiding citizen. I would never even think to do such a thing. I said, plus, this is more of a consignment shop. Why would anybody? And she said, there's a lot of things that go on. This is true. But I was in my mind's eye. I was in my head at the time. I couldn't even conceive of how she could even accuse me of this. So she said, well, is the person who you made the purchase through in this store? And I looked around, and there she was. And I pointed out, I said, she's the one who, helped me make the purchase. So she said, well, I'm going to have to get her down here. So I'm explaining the story. I made the purchase, and there was one more item that I forgot that I couldn't get because I had to go to the ATM machine. They wouldn't take your card. They took only cash at this place. So I asked that she hold on to the item that I wanted to purchase, and I was going to run to the ATM machine, get the money, and come back. So I come back, and she's not there. It was another woman who was there. So the other woman, I ended up purchasing. I had to show her where the item was because I wasn't sure of where the item was myself, because she didn't say she was going on break or anything. But I saw the jacket and the other items behind the woman when I was trying to make, when I was looking for it. So she pulled it up. She says, "This the item?" I said, "Yes." There's no note on it, so I said, "Listen, this is the item that I asked to be held." So I made the purchase and I left the store. So of course, and there was a gentleman who was standing next to her who I remember something, he was actually lending a customer money, giving the customer, because the customer before me was short. He was the person who was giving the money to another customer. I know this seems unheard of, but this guy is really nice, People know him in the store because when people run out of money, he always has extra change and he always helps people. I know it sounds crazy, but the man's the angel, what can I tell you? So, again, I'm trying to explain it. So she pulls the girl to the side. She says, "Look, do you remember her?" And the lady's like, "What is it about?" And she was like, "Well, she says that she made a purchase and you were the person, the cashier." And she said, "I don't remember." So I'm trying to explain, I don't remember. And she's like cutting me off, like, it's like she doesn't want to be bothered. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" I said, so the woman's like, "Well, I don't know if I could take it off because I don't know if if this item is stolen." And I was just about to lose it because I could not believe that anybody would accuse me of something like this. So I told her, I said, "Look, I'm telling you, that I purchased this. I can tell you who was there and everything. And I brought the guy up. And he said he remembered me. So how is it that he remembered me and she didn't remember me? I do know that you get so many customers, but, you know, the lady said I can't do it. She said, finally, I convinced her and she removed it. But it was like, everybody was looking at me. I was just, you know, it was embarrassing. I mean, I was appalled by the whole experience. So I left. On my way out of the store, I said, let me just check the bag or whatever, you know. And sure enough, the receipt was sitting right there. So I went back into the store. I know some people be like, why are you even going there? Just, all right, she took it off. What does it matter? What matters is when your reputation is at stake. When people already assume certain things about a certain class of people. Let's just be honest. Sometimes when things happen, they say, oh, because that person's black, or that person's purple, or that person's green. People assume things all of the time. The last thing you want is to be a part of that. And you want to make sure that you're setting a good example for others. I know that I'm not teaching at this moment, but even when I am a teacher, I'm a teacher always. I want to set a good example for my students to come, for whomever I'm working with. I never want people to assume or to even, I'm trying to set a good example here because we have so many negative examples already. Who is going to make a difference? Even if it's a small difference, I want to make sure that I'm making the right decisions, that I'm making the right choices. I know that we all make mistakes, but this was not going to be one of them. So I presented the receipt, and she looked at the receipt, and she said, oh, it was her. Yeah, that's, you know, she said the woman's name. She looked at the receipt, and she said, okay, you could take it back. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry. I was, you know, I had to do my position. I'm a manager here, and I have to make sure that things are done right. And I know that we got kind of loud, but this was what happened. And I said, you know, thank you. I said, I totally understand, but I want to make sure that I was vindicated, and I want to make sure that I showed you that I presented the proof, because the last thing I would want, I was not going to shop here again. I'm going to be honest with you, I was not going to shop here again if this was not resolved, because I did not want that to be a blemish on not only my reputation, but for it to even be, I'm sure you guys have cameras, and you guys have people posted on pictures saying they can't come into certain stores anymore. The last thing I would want is for my name or for me to be presented in that manner. And she said, no, thank you so much for the receipt and for, you know, for straightening it out. Thank you. And I left. But I was left with the feeling that I know I usually try to clean things out and throw receipts away. This is one time where I did not throw the receipt away, and thank God I did not. Because look at what happened. Look, if I did not have that receipt, look what it would have presented. We must look at things in the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we're setting good examples. The people behind me, suppose there was a child behind me. This is not something that you want to present where people are able to look at these things and say, okay, I'm going to do that next. I'm going to try to get away with this or what have you. If I didn't have the money, I would not have even presented. But if you saw what I purchased for the price, $3, oh my goodness, like, I know it might not seem like a big thing, but people love bargains. And to buy something for $3 that you know costs a lot more, you know. Suppose I'll probably give it to my niece. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that when you get a good deal, you feel good about that deal, you know. Some people use it as braggers' rights, whatever. The point is that we want to make sure that we're doing things as diplomatically, as, you know, as copacetic as possible, okay? So I am a law-abiding citizen, and I want to make sure that I follow the laws in my country, and I want to make sure that I am setting a good example for others. We all make mistakes, but this is not one of them. So thank you so much for joining us today. This has just been one of the examples in the life of everyone. Everyone has different experiences. Some people choose to share them. I'm choosing to share mine because I feel like sometimes you never know what another person might need. And sometimes people need certain examples to make sure that they're making better choices, okay? So thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. You have a great day.